Chapter 19 Party in the USA. You stand in the wings, torn, your gaze flickering between Jane and Jack. I've dreamed of this moment for so long. A full-time manager position at Infinity Records. Estrella. Jean pushes the contract closer in front of you and places a pen in your hand. It can still be yours. All you need to do is sign. Jack's eyes lock on you, his gaze full of betrayal. I trusted you. Your stomach churns as you drum up the strength to face him. I didn't agree to anything. No, but you hesitated. And if you ask me, that's even worse. That's not fair. Reach for his hand, but he leaps backwards. Jean wants you to help screw me over again. And you're actually considering it. You know, I always put you first. Haven't I proven that to you by now? This is when I needed you to prove it. I was ready, willing to give up my dream for you without a second thought. But when it came time for you to show where you stand, where I stand in your life, you couldn't return the favor. Jack turns his back on you and leaves without another word. You're just going to let him get away with like that. I need that song. You turn to face Jean, wiping your teary eyes. What do you want me to do? Jack made his feelings very clear. Figure it out. If you don't get Jack to sign over the rights, your job is over. Your stomach drops and you stare back at him in disgusted. You only care about your contract. This isn't about me at all. Give yourself some credit. You carved a name for yourself out of nothing. You can have a career full of Jack Kennedys, but only if I betray the Jack Kennedy first. Jack was right. All your offers have a poison pill. All this time I've been working towards a goal that has never been achievable. You waved a carrot in front of me and I fell for it. Jean smirks unfazed. Please, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. Stop acting so innocent. I know how you persuaded Jack to stay with Infinity after you broke up the No Rest for the Teachers. He wouldn't have had a successful solo career if it weren't for me. You did the same thing with Solace. That jerk of a shareholder, Mr. Briggs. You manipulate people. You're not gonna fool me. I won't trade my relationship with Jack for anything. You and your conditional job offer can rot in hell. You turn on your heels and walk out after Jack. Outside, you find Jack pacing in the parking lot by a railing overlooking the city. Jack, thank God you're still here. I don't want to hear a thing from you. Step in close, trying to get his gaze to meet yours. Even if it's to tell you that you were right about Jean? There's nothing you can say to me that'll fix what you've done. If I can't say anything... Push him against the car for a kiss because he's being stupid. You back Jack against the hood of the nearby car, cover his lips with your silencing his protests. I'm not letting you go until you hear me out. He shifts under you, his body giving into your touch as he releases a muffled moan. Fine. The real Gene reared his ugly head. You reneged on the offer unless I got you to sign over your song. I told him to rot in hell. His hands fall to your waist, squeezing them in approval. You did. You nod, your mouth grazing up and down along his. I'm sorry I hurt you, but when Gene gave the ultimatum, I thought I was watching my dream fade away. His hand slips under your shirt. They feel warm and above all accepting. But when you left, I realized I want more than just my dream job. I want my dream man. The only question is, do you want me? I've never been more sure about anything in my life. I just need to know you feel the same way. He swallows a breath, fighting back his bubbling emotions. Estrella. He pulls away from your gaze and looks over your shoulder as the security's SUV pulls up. I can't do this. He wrenches himself free from you and climbs into his SUV. Jack, please. He looks at you through the window one last time with a pained expression and then drives off. The next day comes. As brutal as it is to have done to do anything from after last night, you still need to clean out your cubicle at an Infinity Records. How did it all end up like this? I've lost my job, I lost Jack. And so it all ends with this. One final trip to the office, no Jack, no job, no future. This place feels like a graveyard to my dreams. Walk to the lobby of Infinity Records and hear a familiar voice arguing with a security guard. Come on, you know me, I've always been here since I was a teenager. Jack, what's going on here? I'm here for the masters, for my music, and I can't even get past the front door. It's not my call, Jack. You've been dropped from the label. I've been given explicit instructions not to let you get up there. Jack, come with me before you're thrown out. You pull him to the side out of the earshot of security, crosses his arms. What are you even doing here? Didn't you get dropped from the label too? I still have 24 hours to clear out my office. Oh, let me guess. You'll spend 20 of those hours stopping me from getting my music. Listen, I feel pretty bad about last night. That makes two of us. So, I'm gonna help you sneak inside. And under one condition. You keep your cool. I can only imagine what you're feeling and stepping into in the building. Not to mention seeing me. If you create a scene, security will toss your ass out on here so fast your head will spin. Jack looks at security, multiple guards blocking the elevators. Okay, whatever. You act as if you're leading Jack out the door, waving goodbye to security, and then sneak him through the back hallway. This hall has been under renovations for months. Nobody goes here except for a few contractors, so security doesn't check here too often. Jack gives a non-verbal, faint nod. That's it, just a nod, not even an attempt at a smart comeback. Can we just keep moving? I'm not here for a history lesson on the building. You slip through an unmarked door and into IR's hallways. Look, you have every right to be upset, but the way you keep it up, bottles it up, drives me insane. Don't we mean more to each other than that? You meet his gaze, heartbroken to see Jack's eyes well up with hurt. Jack. Do you know that before we met, I was ready to end my career? I knew things were dicey with the label, but I didn't know it was that bad. I was exhausted. Dealing with an industry drama wasn't worth it anymore. And then you came along, made me more emotionally invested in my career than I'd ever been before. You just needed to reconnect with why you fell in love with music in the first place. It wasn't because of the music, it was because of you. He strokes your cheek with his thumb and your heart leaps to your throat. You were the spark that brought my flame back to life. And last night I thought I lost the person I trust more than anyone to leech like Jean. Jack. I never meant to scare you. He inches closer to you, your chest slowly heaving as the heat between you builds. I know. I would never betray you. I never should have doubted you. He cracks a smile for the first time, and the two of you fall into an embrace. You hold on tight, breathing a sigh of relief. So we're a team again, right? He presses his mouth to yours, sending an intense warmth through your body. What does that tell you? It tells me we are going to go fight for what you deserve. You take Jack's hand and lead him down the hall. You storm into Mr. Deacon's office and he whirls his chair around. What the hell? Didn't Jean inform you that you're no longer employed here? I'm not officially unemployed until the end of the day. That's enough time to get something off our chests. Mr. Deacon. I see. Jack, I appreciate your years of service to Infinity, but if you're here to beg for your... You slam the office door shut. We're not leaving until you know the truth about Jean. Something tells me all his lies and scheming have been executed behind your back. Jean is my right-hand man. If he did anything unruly, I would know about it. And if this is about the obstacles he put you through on tour, you need to develop a thicker skin. The industry is cutthroat. That's the least of our worries. Did you know he's been giving my music the songs I wrote to Veronica? Mr. Deacon eyes Jack with skepticism. That's absurd. He's lab a copy of Jack's contract on his desk. Read it for yourself. Jean snuck in a clause that makes all of my music property of IR forever. Mr. Deacon puts on his glasses and looks over the contract clause. Any and all materials written by said artist during the duration of the contract are legal property of Infinity Records in perpetuity. This can't be. This is malpractice. Uh-huh. I didn't want to believe it either. But it's right in front of you in black and white. He presses a button on his intercom system. Pam, bring me copies of the 5 most recent executed contracts by Gene Phillimore. His secretary scurries in with a handful of contracts and he carefully compares them. Unbelievable. All these contracts have the same clause. Gene has been taking advantage of more artists than just Jack. How the hell can he get away with that? No one at the label approved the clause in amendment, so we never knew to look for the extra revenue. Money doesn't give, or just conveniently disappear, unless Gene's quietly pocketing the profits himself. He hasn't been scamming me, he's been scamming the entire studio as well. Mr. Deacon. Infinity Records' reputation is at stake. Artists won't want to work with us if they know our contracts will scam them. The entire label will suffer because of this. I shudder to think of the damage this has already caused. We'll pick up the pieces, but first things first. Mr. Deacon calls Gene on the intercom system. Gene, I need a word with you now. Gene enters, shocked to see you and Jack standing at Mr. Deacon's side. I should have known. Don't worry, Mr. Deacon. I'll security take care of these 2 former members of Infinity. Oh, not so fast, Gene. You've been found out. What are you 2 buffoons talking about? Betrayal, Gene. You created contract clauses behind my back to personally profit off of Infinity's artists. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. Oh, Gene. Please try explaining your way out of this one. Why don't you start with how Veronica just happened to take home several jammies for songs written by Jack? Or the fact that I don't have a cent off the sales of my own t-shirts and bobbleheads. There's a reason for all that. Mr. Deacon holds up his contracts as evidence. Save it. Who am I gonna believe? You or my lying eyes? Those are falsified. Then our business is a sham. These are official documents with your unapproved clause in them. I'm your right hand. Not anymore. You're fired. Oh, good riddance. Gene shoots daggers in your direction before regaining his composure, flashing a confident smirk. The label's going to suffer for this. Our department has been understaffed as it is. No one has the bandwidth to take on a high-profile client list. Your heart races, seeing an opportunity to seize your dream. I can. I already proved I can handle Jack, and I know my success would drive Gene up a wall. You lock eyes with Jack, who gives you an encouraging nod, then to look at Mr. Deacon. I'm a choice. You clear your throat and speak with confidence. Mr. Deacon, I know the perfect person to take on Gene's client list. Me. Gene audibly scoffs. You think you can have what it takes? Yeah, it makes sense to me. Without Estrella, my tour would have never been the success it is now. A ringing endorsement from the man she's sleeping with. It's not a coincidence Estrella worked here almost a year without an assignment. She's not cut out for the business. I'm more cut out for this business than you. I have a moral compass. Clients can tell that. They know I'll help them grow instead of scamming them for my own gain. Estrella pushed me to be better. She encouraged me when I wasn't sure of myself. That is a very good quality in a manager. Quincy, do you actually believe, and to be considering this? If you give Estrella my client list, the label will shutter in 6 months. If the label goes belly up, the only person to blame is you for bringing shame to what Mr. Deacon built. By shame, you mean millions and millions of dollars? If so, then guilty as charged. No, she means you've ruined the label's reputation, and it's going to take the right team to turn things around. A team led by a manager who isn't stuck in the past, a manager who doesn't resort to stealing profits. A team led by a manager with a vision for the future. What vision could you possibly have? I envision a label that encourages individuality. No 2 artists are the same. Instead of forcing them to share music, we need to motivate them to be themselves. It's the same technique Estrella used on me to help make my new album a hit. You have several hit albums under my guidance. Just another example of Gene being stuck in the past. Quincy chews on your argument, still torn. All I'm asking for is a shot to prove myself. And don't forget, you'll still be in charge. That's right. I have a lot of ideas, but I need a trusted boss to steer me in the right direction. And you actually will listen to me and if and when I have concerns? You nod. Of course she's going to say that now. She wants my client list. It's more than a client list to me. It's the future of Infinity. It's not just Infinity Records' employee. I care about this label, as if it were my own. You saw what I did to turn Jack's image around after the damage Jean had caused. I can do the same for the label as a whole. Like I don't care about this label. I've given my blood, sweat, and tears to this company. For money. So has Estrella. I put her through the ringer and she passed every test with flying colors. So, Mr. Deacon, please, you won't regret this. Mr. Deacon looks to you and then back at Jean. Jean, your evaluation used to hold weight at this company, but now you're the last person I should listen to. Quincy, no, don't say it! Yes, Quincy, say it. Estrella, you may still have a lot to learn, but with me as your mentor, I have faith you'll go far. Jean's client lists are yours. Thank you, Mr. Deacon. Promise I won't let you down. Security hauls Jean out of the building, kicking and screaming. I'll get you for this, my pretty. That's gonna be hard to do from the unemployment line. And don't think I won't tell every single artist about this. Your days of ruling the music industry are over. Once the door finally closes on Jean, Mr. Deacon faces the two of you. I hope you know that if I knew all of this beforehand, I would have stopped it years ago. We know, but it still happened and there's no way to undo the damage. The best we can do is move forward, starting with returning music rights to Jack and all the other artists affected. Mr. Deacon nods without hesitation. I'll have the paperwork drawn up today. Jack, this comes far too late, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'll do my best to repay you the money you've lost over the years. All I ask is that you at least consider renewing your contract with us. Under your new management, of course. He pats you on the shoulder. You mean, I see a bright future, and a promising one at that, for the two of you. I am an Infinity manager! Jack! Let me order you around some more. I guess you have a decent case. It's a few weeks later, you and Jack sit backstage at a stadium. This is it, the final show in the States before we jet off to Amsterdam. And the first time I perform music from the new album live. Feels good, doesn't it? You're practically bouncing off the walls to get on stage. Well, duh, I'm making new music again. None of this would be possible without you. He steps in close, hands landing on your hips. I can't wait to show you my gratitude professionally. He leans in, his warm breath grazing your earlobe as he whispers, and personally. You care to be more specific? Suddenly his hands leave your body and he presents to you a well-tailored suit on a hanger. A little something I had specially designed for you. He opens the jacket to reveal a sexy lingerie set underneath. Oh, it screams business on the outside, party on the inside. I can't think of a better way to make your debut as my management and my girlfriend. Showstopper, even though this is probably the last chapter. Woot. All the world's a stage and you're the main event. Your manager and your girlfriend, I like the way that sounds. Though right now, I'll lean into my role as your manager. You shimmy the suit on over the lingerie set and feel the fabric, reveling in how the silk grazes your skin. You were right about the business part, I feel powerful. He scans your body, liking this new take-charge persona. So, what's your first order of business as my official manager? You take a step towards him. To make sure my client is just as satisfied with my performance. Your hands drop to his waist, fingers trapezing over his belt buckle. If only you didn't have a show to do. He shakes his head. Ah, you damn tease. You put on your earpiece as Jack hits the stage and the crowd goes wild. Let's make this your greatest show yet. He shoots you a wink before addressing the audience. How are we feeling, Atlanta? He holds the mic out to the crowd and they chant his name. Jack, Jack, Jack. I'll be performing songs from my new hit album tonight. I believe you all are familiar with Bear. Hit it. With your cue, the band begins the opening chords. Listen, you just know, I don't feel like it. Jack struts across the stage with confidence while keeping an eye on you. If you're trying to make me swoon with your signature smirk, I'm gonna need more than that. Perhaps your signature hip thrust. You know, the one that looks like you're making love to the camera? He nods. Call me what you want, I know I'm a hot mess. He takes the mic stand and puts it in between his legs and thrusts it back and forth. Wow. Oh, yes. You shake yourself back to focus. Now, quit showing off for me and take care of your audience. Jack laughs and turns back to his fans. The show is one of the best he's ever performed, but it eventually comes to an end. The audience leaves, the crew packs up all the equipment, and the only thing missing before your departure is Jack. You walk on stage to find him sitting all alone, staring out at the empty, dimly lit stadium. Can you feel it? Feel what? There's a magic lingering in the air. It happens at every show. After that last perfect note, there's a quiet that consumes the space. You join him on the floor and close your eyes. Do you feel it now? You nod. It's like an air of hope that everything you want is within reach. And you blink your eyes back open. He stares back at you, his lips mere inches from yours. You reach out and run your hand along his cheek. It is. You lean in, pressing your mouth against his, reveling in some welcoming warmth. Here, all dreams can come true. Let's make love in the spotlight. No, let's not. Thank you for always doing what you shouldn't and opening my eyes to new things. Perhaps an arm around you and you rest your head on his shoulder. Thank you for keeping me grounded when those new things threaten to get me into trouble. A few days later, you stand on the airport tarmac, addressing Jack's former bandmates and the new opening act. Alright everybody, our schedule for the European leg of the tour is jam-packed, so I need you all to pay close attention to the itinerary. Are we all ready to board? We're ready. But we can't really take off without the star of the show. Jack's not here yet? You check on the time on your phone, and then Jack's voice calls out from the jet. What's taking you all so long? You turn to find him bounding down the stairs of the tour's new private jet. My manager frowns on tardiness. His group mates chuckle as you allow Jack to pull you into his grasp. As your manager, I couldn't be more proud of your discipline, and as your girlfriend... Before you can finish the thought, he covers your lips with a passionate kiss. When he finally pulls back, your heart races, sending your thoughts into a daze. You were saying? As your girlfriend... You catch sight of the private jet behind him, your racing thoughts taking off to new ideas. I can't wait to join the Mile High Club. Amsterdam, here we come. Thank you for playing. While this marks the end of an album for Treble and Jack, we hope you enjoyed every note, sweet and sour. And like a good song, you can always feel free to hit replay and revisit the tour that changed everything. Until next time, rock on! Yep, it's gonna be a no from me. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, plenty of things to check out, ways to support, and whatnot. With that being said, if you haven't read the community post on the channel, you really should. That's about it. Okay? Yeah, I'm human. Sorry about being late. Shit happens. And, yeah. With that being said, it comes to a closure of another book. You know, I normally, in the past, I got all, like, emotional and gave a shit. And I was like, oh, man, you know, I'm so proud. We reached... No. I was proud when the writing was good. I'm not proud when the writing is shit. I know that it's not me in charge of the writing, but, you know, I can at least be a person who's, 1, the content creator, 2, me, and 3, an individual who reads this shit, who also pays $16.11 every month to make sure to bring you guys VIP, not even kidding. So, with that being said, you know, I'm not impressed. I'm hoping that the new book that they're supposed to be releasing, I guess later today, which I'll try and cover ASAP, I'm just hoping that that will literally and figuratively offer us something. You know, I've been doing this gig for literally and figuratively. I was one of the first content creators who started covering choices. I've been the only content creator who's read this crap. And like I say crap because at one time it was really good and it was something that I literally would sit there like 30 minutes before doing a chapter, like before it came out, right? And I would get my coffee ready and I would just be rearing and ready to jump at the bit and give you guys 110% of myself, and try and portray the voices and everything else and make good choices with the videos. But as of late, I just don't feel it. I just do not feel this app. These stories are nothing. And I know I'm not alone because a lot of you try and spread that to me through our server, through the community, through the pages, through everything else. Unfortunately, if you criticize them at all on their Reddit, yeah, no, I know this may not come as a surprise for anybody. If you try and put it on the Reddit, pretty much they got some dry, hard fans on there. Also, one of them apparently, air quote, works with the team and helps, give them feedback and thoughts and whatnot. So pretty much if you write any post whatsoever, like a recent one that I was a part of, that I didn't write but I commented on, they deleted it. Okay, anytime you criticize them, they delete it because the literal choices fan base on the site is just absolute garbage for a moderator team. But then again, these are the same people that tried to cancel me at one point because they just didn't like me. So yeah, no, I don't know what to really tell you. Like I really don't know what to tell you. So yeah, no, I know some of you have been living in a bubble. In case you didn't know that, and or you need proof of that, man, I got days, I got receipts, I got everything. The Reddit's just garbage, okay? And it protects them from any and all feedback, and it's one of the reasons why the writers don't really go on social media aside from Reddit. So because it's a little bubble, they live in. I hate to tell you this, but if you live in a bubble where people, can't give you their honest, opinionated responses on something, it's not going to make good reads. It's going to produce crap. Whereas if people give you criticism and feedback and try and make things better for everyone involved, it actually makes some of the best damn things you can read. Okay? Alright, thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.